In the spirit of Halloween, Steam Next Fest dropped a lot of demos, and I wanted to find any JRPG horror games, and as I scrolled the page, I noticed a rather familiar game. Well, it felt familiar. Never played it, but it felt a realm of nostalgia to be exact. A 90s inspired retro hand-painted game called Little Goody Two Shoes, developed by Astral Shift and published by Square Enix. Little Goody Two Shoes is a horror narrative with Elise taking main stage as she has a dream to become rich, but coming from humble beginnings. She finds magical red slippers in her backyard, whether if she will find out what's inside the mysterious forest that she lives next to, and as well as risk her life for a dream of being rich or stay humble. With 10 possible endings, there's plenty of ways to see how Elise's stories ends. I am currently previewing the demo version that is on Steam, so make sure to check out the game on its full release October 31st. Or let's hop right into the gameplay. The gameplay of Little Goody Two Shoes offers a beautifully handcrafted experience that helps dives players into an immersive experience. Players will notice the game is rather panned further out in an isometric view, which helps set the scene for players to understand the cinematography Astral Shift wants us to feel. For any of my Persona fans out there, this mechanic will be an easy one, but there is a day and night cycle in the game, which means specific missions will skip a time period, so choose your time wisely. As each day has a six time periods, three of that six is working periods, morning, afternoon, and dusk. As the time period passes, you will lose one piece of bread, which is Elise's hunger level. As long as you keep her fed, she will be okay and not starve to death, since in this game, you have two forms of levels of health, your hunger bar and your actual health bar, which I'll get to that a little bit later on why that affects you. As you travel, you'll begin to meet a lot of waifus. Many a main cast of characters in which the game really emphasizes them as a person of interest by giving them a glamorous portrait introduction. These waifus have relationship meters to each of them, and going out on dates with them will help increase this meter. There is one particular waifu you have to be very careful about. Her name is Rosemarine, or as comically Elise calls her Rosemarine. You have to make sure no one gets suspicious of her while she is living with you, due to her being the aforementioned witch that the townsfolk keep speaking on. During most convos with the waifus, you can definitely tell there's a lot of passive flirting getting thrown around, really showing there's a lot of history with the other waifus that us as players don't know about, as we will soon to begin to know. Even with Rosemarine, once you enter your first day with her, you really start to see that relationships start to begin to bloom, and you notice that with all the dates you do go on. But after running around for most part of the demo in the early stages, you will come across a chicken quest. Now, in which to my surprise turned into a huge arcade machine quest, and it became a cool mini game. Along your travels, you will come across the Granny shop. Now, this is the way of saying that this is your homestay shop. If you ever need to get any form of items, get any forms of like things to eat, Granny shop is the spot to go. But I want to talk about like the overall content that most of you will expect in this game, and what will be the constant replay loop of this game to the end of the game. You have the nightmare mode, which once Elise goes to sleep, you'll have to do the nightmare stage, which is essentially a fetch quest to unlock a door. You're finding keys to this unlocked door, and the first one you come across, you need to find 4 keys that are scattered in this weird looking mansion, and you must hide from these ghost abundance of candles and all that good stuff. Like, it's just a bunch of ghosts that are trying to attack you. The day cycle also is bright and brimming with hope as Elise tries to get stuff done like chores, romancing the waifus, while the night cycle brings about this dreaded, eerie vibe like there's something wrong in the woods once you travel in. You also get shops that helps you get better items in game. There's plenty of quests to do to give you different periods of the day, and this demo also took me about an hour and 30 minutes to beat, which gives you as players a good decent amount of time to understand how the gameplay works in its loop. And of course, there are relationship paths with different waifus. Now, the overall presentation of this game, Visually, Little Goody Two Shoes excels in capturing any player's attention, especially the way it shot out at me. I was scrolling the Steam store page. With the 90s PS1 and PS2 inspired hand-painted art design and how between the background and the foreground looks amazing. As you walk with Elise, the camera will actually pan back, really showing the depth of your character. During conversations are done, the 2D images of the characters, and they have like this form of life to them, showing them even more emotions while during the slow periods of the game. Character development. As I say this because watching the conversations feel like I'm literally watching a 90s anime, and our main girl Elise is that tough ass female protagonist, and her combos with Rosemarine, a more timid, shy character. Literally, there's so many tropes that I see in this, and it's nostalgic to me. It should be nostalgic to a lot of people, most of my viewers who are watching. But I want to talk a little about the sound design. Nothing too crazy, but I can say this: the original soundtrack is very nice. I love the change of music to fit all types of scenes, whether it's a whimsical, funny, or serious, or even a more romantical sense of scenery. And the music that plays in between each and one of them really homes in on the story, the overarching story that they're trying to tell us in this game. Technical performances, I haven't seen any bugs. For the hour and 30 minutes, I didn't have a single hiccup. There was nothing wrong with the user interface. The user interface is quite clean. The user experience is quite clean. I was playing on controller, felt very good playing on the controller. I did not play it on mouse and keyboard, but I'm pretty sure it should run well as well. The game does run quite smooth, smoother than butter. Itself, I am playing the Steam version, like I said, so I don't know how full launch would be or how the console's counterpart will play, but overall, it's a great game to play, and I feel like you will have a great time from beginning to end, or if you're going to be a completionist, to find all 10 possible endings. Now, Little Goody Two Shoes is an exceptional horror JRPG on the surface. It adds this sense of dread, like there's more to worry about in the woods in Elise's dreams. In my eyes, though, the horror aspect feels more supernatural or even Lovecraftian in a way, since one of the first signs of something's actually wrong in the demo is these dark tentacles that comes grabbing at Elise, trying to like pull her in, but it was an illusion. The gameplay overall is not fast-paced. It is not turn-based, as some people would think. Oh, Square Enix, the publisher. Oh, here we go, another JRPG turn-based. Like, no. I love turn-based as an next person, but this game is a overarching, exceptional horror game / dating sim in a sense. I did play a recent game that was like that, Eternights. If you guys haven't checked that out, I have the review on my channel. I'll link it later. But at the end of the day, Little Goody Two Shoes is a beautiful, crafted survival horror game with deep callbacks to the old PlayStation 1, PS2 days, with Square Enix as the publisher and Astral Shift trying their hand at captivating players' fear and the dating sim needs that Little Goody Two Shoes is sure to leave in a lasting impression all the way into a full launch October 31st, 2023, which, as in, it's in 5 days of me recording this video. Sitting at a nice $20 price tag, this is a good JRPG to hop into in between your time playing your Starfields and your Baldur's Gate 3 and even your Spider-Man 2. The game will be releasing on all consoles and PC. It should be a good Halloween game to give you a good scare with a bit of love. Make sure to like the episode if you want more RPG content, and subscribe to the channel. Like the video as well. But as always, it's been your host, Chaos DTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.
Make a manifest. I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, it rain and plenty. Full-time job, still can never make a penny. I ain't